Hi, I'm Chrissy with Mind Clarity Coaching, and I'm here to share an experience that I just had. I just recorded my entire video that I had. I'm sorry for the snoring, if I don't know if you hear that, but that's my dog in the background. I just spent hours setting up my cameras, and I'm new at this, so I'm learning. But I just spent hours getting it all set up. I recorded the whole thing. I was so nervous through the whole thing. Like my chest actually kind of hurts a little bit just because I'm moving through this fear of being seen and this fear of using my voice again. And I got it all done. I was so proud of myself. I put it all away and I started to edit the video and I recognized that the audio didn't record. So I have made a commitment to myself to upload a video every Friday. So I am going to try and talk my way through a video that I was showing you before, just to keep my promise to myself and to try and add value to someone else's life. In the video I had recorded, I was helping people understand how to recognize whether they are in alignment with their higher self or out of alignment. And the higher self can be viewed as some people call it their soul, some people call it spirit, some people call it their God. Whatever you want to call it, that's completely fine, but it's the essence that gives this physical body life. And our whole job, the only job that we have here in this world, is to get back in alignment with our higher self. And our higher self is nothing but pure, unconditional love. And the reason I wanted to make this video to help people know whether they're in alignment or out of alignment is because when you're able to recognize where you're at and what you're feeling in your body and what you're attracting into your life, you can change it. You can start to become a creator and start to create the life of your dreams instead of feeling like a victim where things are just happening to you. Now, first, I do want to recognize that we live in an uncertain world. And when I was in my deepest, darkest place, when I was suffering from depression and PTSD, I was really struggling because all I wanted to feel was security. I just wanted to feel safe. And it really helped me when I heard Tony Robbins one day say, "You're searching for certainty in an uncertain world." Sometimes things just happen. And where I was at in my life back then, I didn't have the tools, I didn't have the emotional intelligence or understanding to be able to process the emotions that I was feeling. Heck, I didn't even know what the emotions I was feeling were. I was just reacting to literally everything in my life. When I learned this was kind of my first step um, in my own personal journey of growth. I just wanted to teach it and share it so that it might be able to help someone else. I learned that we're all energetic beings and we come from one source. And when I was a little girl, that source for me was heaven. And that spirit or that essence enters this physical body and gives us life. And I want you to imagine after we're born, we experience emotions, right? So emotions can be joy, happiness, love. Those are the higher vibrational energies and emotions. And we can feel emotions like sadness and anger and shame. Those are the lower vibration energies. I think it's important to recognize what we feel feels good or what feels bad to us. Because, for everybody, it's different. For me, when I'm feeling love, when I'm feeling happiness, when I'm feeling joy, I feel like that it feels good. I feel like I'm on cloud nine. I don't really know how else to describe it. I just know deep down in my heart that I feel good. And when I'm feeling negative emotions, when I'm feeling sadness and depression or anger, it doesn't feel good to me. I don't feel good about my reactions when I'm in those states of mind. I just don't feel good. It feels yucky. So I've learned to recognize the way I want to feel and the way I don't want to feel. I've also learned not to judge either one because we're human beings in this, we're unlimited beings in these limited bodies. We experience negative feelings, and those negative feelings are just as important as the positive feelings. I mean, if we never experienced anything negative, how would we grow as people? How would we learn lessons throughout life? How would we learn compassion and unconditional love? I mean, through some of my deepest, darkest moments is where I learned unconditional love for others and myself, especially. So I want to make it very clear that the good and the negative emotions, they're both important. And it's just the matter of learning how to process them, how to move through them without doing things that we feel regret for later on. That's when we start to grow as a person. Okay, so I kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent. We have our good feelings, which are up here, and our bad feelings, which are down here. And again, one isn't better than the other. It's just what we're feeling. It's just the emotion that we're feeling in that moment. And imagine that this is your physical body and this is your spirit body, and it's come together and it's moving up and down this emotional scale, right? So we have our physical body. Once we hit love, it just, our physical body can go below love into those negative feelings, but our spiritual body doesn't want to go there because our spirit, our higher being, is nothing but pure unconditional love. There's just nothing about it that is anything else. So our bodies, as we grow older, I mean, especially in our childhood, we pick up limiting belief systems. And so, if the limiting belief systems act as kind of a layer, let me give you an example. Lots of people have abandonment issues. I didn't grow up with my mother or father. So, at some point in time, I created this belief system that dropped me below love that said, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable. Okay, so I've created these layers, and my physical body, my brain, keeps me down here, whereas my energetic body stays up here above love. Okay, so just imagine some imaginary line. Love and above is above that line, and all the negative energies are below it. As our energetic, our soul, our higher being stays up here in love, our physical brains, our physical bodies move up and down, and the very bottom of that scale is shame. If you want more information about the scale, you can look at David R. Hawkins' um, levels of consciousness. So he had created that. And this really, really opened my eyes and helped me to recognize that I'm the creator of my life and, that God is inside all of us. And yeah, so, anyways, you can find his scale there. The reason I want to, and this is funny, this is the drawing. I had woke up in the middle of the night, so this is source energy, and a little bit of it breaks off. It enters our body. We now have life, and it travels up and down the scale. Love is in the middle here. So above love, you're traveling with your energetic higher self. But once you drop below this line, it's like your physical body separates. You still have life, you're still living, but you've got these layers of belief systems that create a distance between your energetic self and your physical self. And the further away you get from your energetic self, the worse you feel. And so that's how we know whether we're in alignment or not. It's, do I feel good about this thing that I have said, or this thing that I think, or this thing that someone has said to me? Does it feel good? If you feel good and light in your body, then that's in alignment with your higher being, because your higher being is nothing but pure love. Even when you're upset with someone else, maybe someone has done something and you're really angry at this person. It doesn't feel good to be angry at them because your higher being, there's not one piece of your higher being that has anger towards that person. It's just your physical body that has the anger that's holding on to that energy, and it's traveled down and created the distance in between the physical and the higher being. the way to recognize whether you're in alignment is if you feel good. Does this genuinely feel good? And I'm not talking about the temporary feelings, feeling good. Like I used to drink a lot of alcohol. I mean, when I was high school, I was always, hanging out with the older crowd and drinking a bunch. And in the moment, that felt really good. But like the next day, I didn't feel that great. And as I became an adult, I would drink and it would kind of last for weeks too. Like it just wasn't that great. It's because I was trying to cover up emotions, right? I was trying to feel better from a negative feeling that I was experiencing. So what I was doing is I would drink alcohol to numb that feeling. But when the alcohol goes away, that feeling is still there. And it is now, there's been more time that's passed, so that feeling is now bigger. There's a greater distance in between me and my higher self. That's a temporary relief. I'm talking about, does this feel good? You know deep down inside whether this is a good or a bad thing for you. If it's good, you're in alignment with your higher being. Go for it. If it's bad, if you feel bad, if you feel negative, if this thing doesn't feel good to you, it's important to take a step back. Take the time that you need to recognize, what is this bad feeling that I'm feeling? Where am I feeling it in my body? When was the first time I felt this? And is this supporting my goals or is this sabotaging my goals? There's lots of questions you can ask yourself to try and find why you feel bad about this. And those can be helpful by seeing a therapist or a coach. And the importance of this video is really just to get you starting to observe whether you're in alignment with your soul or your spirit or your higher being or you're not. And the first step to my personal growth was observing. It was being able to step back and take a look at myself and see the way I was feel the way I was feeling and see the actions that I was taking when I was reacting to something. Once I was able to observe all of that, then I was able to, with a therapist and a coach, be able to learn the tools and apply the tools to help move forward in my life and to help learn the emotional intelligence, help release those negative, disempowering belief systems that may have served me when I was a child, but don't serve me as an adult. And we'll talk more about those in other videos. But this video, I really just want you to get in tune with your body. I really just want you to start recognizing, am I in alignment with me or am I out of alignment with me? Because in the grand scheme of things, that's all that matters. You have no control over anyone else. You have no control over anyone else's actions. You do not have the power to make someone feel bad or to offend someone. They do not have the power to make you feel bad or offend you. It's all about, what am I feeling inside? What am I choosing to feel? And just observing that, for a week or so, 3 weeks is really great because then you really get a good idea and you've collected a lot of evidence and data of, what's happening in your world. Another thing that happens is the universe will give us what we feel. So if we're constantly looking on the outside and we don't like the results that we're getting in our life, it's because we're feeling that way inside. And it's running in the background. You don't know it. It's subconscious. Just being able to get in touch with your body and how your body feels, where you're feeling it, what does it feel like? When was the first time you felt it? That's the first step to growing personally and moving you in the direction where you can start to create the life of your dreams. I hope that you found this helpful. If you liked it, please like and subscribe so that you can get future content. And if you feel that this information may be helpful to someone else, please feel free to share my video. Thank you and have a great evening.